When becoming a police officer, you also get more power. Some cops have been abusing their power for ages. However, not all cops get busted, but these cops will finally get their justice. Join us as we will unravel the stories of injuries, mistakes, and intoxications. Clarence Gallard.
Hey, let me see your hands. Bert, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground right here. Get on the ground. You, burgundy shirt, get on the ground. Over here. On the ground. On the ground. Get on the ground. Do you not listen? Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. There's a gun behind me. There's a gun, I believe, behind me.
I ain't got no gun now.
On July 26, 2021, the police received a call conveying that someone was moving in front of the building with a weapon. David Lance Dukes arrived at the scene, drew his weapon and started shouting, demanding people to lie down on the ground. Clarence Gallard, a 58-year-old man from South Carolina, had metal pins on his back and legs and took some time to lay down on the ground. It was not quick enough for Officer David, so he stepped on Mr. Gallard's back, injuring him for no valid reason. From where does a police officer possess the power to step on a suspect? We understand it does not fall in the style to ask a suspect if they are physically okay to get on the ground before that power show. But somebody please tell them monarchy is long gone. Stop playing the barbarous commander-in-chief.
Yep.
Listen.
Yep, they slammed my head down on the cement. Yep.
Go back inside. Go back in the house. Go back in the house. Ain't nobody talking to you.
I got head drummer.
Go back in the house.
Yeah.
He was in front of the car when I came up. And he was walking like this. And I thought it was a gun at first. I said, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. I had him at gunpoint. And he's over here doing something like this.
You slammed my head. You slammed my
What
head
he was doing is
down
putting this up behind the tire. So he comes over right here. He got his hands in his pockets. I'm telling him, let me see your hands, let me see your hands, let me see your hands.
My head?
He wasn't listening.
The officer tried to justify his actions to his superior, but it was in vain. Clarence did not possess a weapon, he was unarmed, and yet the police officer behaved unjustly on suspicion. As a consequence of violating Mr. Gallard's rights by stepping on his back and causing injuries, David Lance Dukes was fired and Mr. Gallard received a compensation of $650,000. James Hodges.
Hi there. What's this in your back pocket? I just saw you walking it.
The navigational aids. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Yeah, I am actually. What's your name and date of birth?
I don't have to give that unless
Yes, sir. I was investigating.
You have reasonable.
Do you want me to put you in handcuffs right now? Yes, sir, I do.
What is your suspicion?
It looks like you're carrying a gun in your back pocket. I'm stopping to make sure you're carrying it properly. You don't
have you
to...
ensured that it's not a firearm?
No, you keep turning so I can't see it. You don't have to be a to me.
Well, you're being one to me.
No, sir. I'm doing my job.
Am I detained?
Yeah, you are. What's your name and date of birth?
It does not matter.
Yes, sir, it does.
Do you have a crime?
Would you like me
Call
to
your
put you in?
supervisor,
He's right
please.
here.
All right.
A police officer, Jamie Goad, stopped 61-year-old James Hodges walking in the streets of Lake City, Florida, in the morning of October 31st. The officer was suspicious that James carried a weapon. However, his walking cane was mistaken for a gun. It was a navigating aid that was medically prescribed for him, and he had it folded in his pocket.
Sir, what's the stop you for?
For a walking stick.
And it could look like a weapon. She asked you to
Really?
present it, okay?
Now she's asking me for ID.
Okay.
I don't need the ID unless there's reasonable articulated suspicion that I have committed a crime, am committing a crime, or about to do a crime.
Sir, and her suspicion was that you were armed, okay? And she's asking you for your ID.
Well, now she has verified that I am not armed.
Okay.
So there is no
Do you have
problem.
your ID or not?
I do have my ID, but you don't need it.
Okay? Okay?
It is clear that Sergeant Randy Harrison, supervisor of the officer, was supposed to leave James alone upon elimination of the suspicion. James Hodges had a clear knowledge of his rights. He was not required to give his personal information to a police officer unless he was caught committing a crime. However, Harrison decided to detain James, which was obviously rooted in frustration.
Where's your ID? Pocket.
Which pocket?
You are not allowed to search me.
Two 540.
Sir, are you legally blind?
Yes, I am.
All right, Mr. Hodges. Was that hard?
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge
You
number.
know what? Put him in jail for resisting.
Okay. All right, let's go.
I want your name and badge number too, sir.
Have a seat.
You wanna pick my property up,
I
please?
sure will, after you have a seat.
You wanna pull this out of my back pocket?
Sure. Here, I'll grab your jacket for you, too.
They searched James illegally and put him in jail for absolutely no reason. James Hodges was in jail for 26 hours. Upon release, Mr. Hodges prepared a lawsuit against the officers. After the investigation, disciplinary actions were taken against the officers. Jamie Gode and Sergeant Randy Harrison were suspended. Harrison faced a suspension of only 7 days without pay, and he won't be eligible for raises or promotions for 2 years. Gode faces suspension without pay for only 2 days. It's not much at all, but let's hope the lesson was learned. Donovan Rojas.
Turn around, turn around. Turn around, do not face me. Turn around.
Just walk right here. Walk right here. Shut the up. Get right over here. I don't give a who you are. Get on your knees.
Hey, I'm a cop. Why you acting like that? I'm a cop.
Then you'll listen to me when I tell you to get on your knees.
I'm a cop, bro. Where?
Who do you work for? You used to work for Miami-Dade.
I'm acting.
Be quiet. Don't say another word. You hear me?
This police officer was accused of drunk driving. Another police officer noticed the speeding car and pursued him. Donovan was clocked at 107 miles per hour and 111 miles per hour and instantly assumed it to be a criminal escaping. But to their surprise, it was a cop. Donovan Rojas was an officer from Miami-Dade Police Department. His irresponsibility put the lives of innocent citizens at risk. He was not only driving while being drunk, speeding and swerving on the road. He did it with no other vehicle than his agency car. When being asked to perform a field sobriety test, he declined, so they brought him to the police station, where he also refused a breathalyzer test. Donovan Rojas couldn't hold back his tears, realizing his career was messed up with this single incident. He was charged with DUI, fleeing and eluding, and was relieved of his duty. Corruption among police officers is in various forms, including accepting bribes, engaging in drug trafficking, tampering with evidence, or abusing their power for personal gain. These actions were just a few examples of how corrupt officers can be.